Hey, 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 it's Dr. Meredith Watson, the unapologetic therapist, the creator of the Phoenix Therapy Method. Sorry about the lighting, I'm going to have to get it fixed, but you can still hear me, at least you can actually see me on my podcast. You don't even get to see me, you just get to hear my beautiful voice. We're going to talk about nothing like being T-boned from both sides to give you perspective in life. I have been anxious to the nines lately. Just some nights I haven't been able to sleep, and other nights I've been sleeping like a baby. It just depends. And there's been a lot of things going on in my world. So it was I thought for a while it was just maybe the fluctuation of me not being able to sleep that had me anxious. And of course my daughter sleeps with me, so I wake up, I don't look like a storm was brewing out of my window, but anyway, it sometimes I think, well, maybe I'm just worried about her. And you, as a mom, when you have your kids right by you, you don't necessarily sleep soundly because you're always worried about them. And it could have been any of the other numerous things going on in my world. But I was so annoyed that I was so anxious because things are really going well for me, and it's starting to really exponentially grow in the right direction for me. And let me make sure I'm actually live, because one time I did an entire live and I wasn't even live. Okay, so we're good. Okay, so I tried to kind of work through what the anxiety was about, and I started, journaling, doing my mindset work, and realizing that I had a pretty crazy day. And when I woke up this morning, I was in line for a crazy day, like I had a lot planned. So to kind of motivate me to get through my day and check off things on my list, my daughter and I decided, once we got done with our list, we were going to go get ice cream. And so I was really looking forward to that. And we went to one place and I didn't really want to go there. So we got out of the line and we were going to go somewhere else. And at that moment, a car was going to hit me from this way and a car was going to hit me from that way. So it was going to get me on my side and the side my daughter was on, which of course ignites a bunch of anxiety and freaking out. But I should have followed my intuition because it told me to go the other way to begin with, and I didn't. So always follow your intuition, it knows best. But almost getting T-boned from both sides taught me to have some perspective. And I really did need to put some things in perspective. And that source will have your back and protect you and keep you in line with the direction you're supposed to go in. And it also made me realize how short life is. And it's really too short not to do the things that light you up. Like a lot of the anxiety I was dealing with was because I was doing things that didn't light me up at all. And I also realized that I've been anxious for a while. Last week I got a ticket. It was bogus. It was stupid. It's a long story for another day. But even I tried to take a lesson out of that and what that was teaching me about life. So I try to utilize everything that happens and utilize it as a lesson to learn. But I was also, this goes very deeply, because when I journal and when I think about things, I try to really reverse engineer and figure out where this original feeling came from. So when I was growing up, as a lot of kids, I was worried about being a good girl. I wanted to have the approval of my parental units. I didn't want to get into trouble, because if I got into trouble, then I wasn't a good girl, which means I wasn't good enough. And then on some level, that directly correlated to my worrying about my very safety and security and thereby stability. And so I dove deep into that and came up with that piece. And then I also thought about my introversion. And I'm a firecracker, a social butterfly. I can work a room, but I consider myself an introvert. And I homeschool my daughter, so that kind of answers that call also. So I dove into what does being introverted do for me that being extroverted in name doesn't do for me. And I started to delve deep into that. And talking to people means I take up space, which means I bring attention to myself, which means I open myself up to being ridiculed and possibly wrong and made fun of, which begets anxiety, which means I'm getting in trouble, which means I am a failure, which means I'm not a good girl or I'm not enough. And then if I'm not a good girl and I'm not good enough, then what am I? And it's this vicious cycle. And then we go back to the threat of my security and thereby my stability, and how vicious of a cycle that can really spiral down into. And I made the conscious decision, which anybody can do, to stop that cycle and get to the level of knowing that I am awesome and I am really worthy of everything I want, and everything I desire is mine to have, and really give it perspective, really own it and address it and honor it, and heal it and move on. And it doesn't always happen overnight. I've been doing a lot of healing for years and years and years. So some things I can just call up, heal, and move on. And I'm sure other things are going to come up, and I'm going to deal with other things, because once you excavate and kind of pull the curtains back, there's usually something else, and you just keep digging and digging and healing and healing and healing. And it's an ever-going journey. I don't think there's ever an arrived moment where you're like, I'm all healed, I don't have to heal anything else. If by some strange, interesting, apocalypse you've arrived there, please tell me how. But oops, I just dropped my glasses. Let me get those, because I will run over them. Okay, that was quick. So we have to reverse engineer about why we feel as we do about the things we do if we want to change it. And I was, for some reason, scared to death to come out about how I've changed the trajectory of my business, because I didn't want to bring attention to myself. I didn't want to be flippant, or people to think that I'm, not consistent, or that I'm flippant or flagrant, or whatever people like to call each other. And thinking about that ridicule made me not want to share and to come and be consistent and show up and light up the world in the way that only I can, because I was afraid of what colleagues would think of me. But then I thought, screw them. Screw anyone who doesn't want to be a part of my tribe because I changed my lane. That's what life is about, growing and evolving and getting to a point where you're happy with where you are. But sometimes that means changing the lane that you're in. And there's nothing wrong with that. And anyone who makes you feel that you are, it's a word and I can't think of it, probably because I don't like it and I don't subscribe to it. Flippant, I guess, maybe, for lack of a better word. But what's wrong with just being ambitious? What's wrong with being multi-passionate? What's wrong? Scatterbrain, that's what it is. I'm not scatterbrain. And just because you have more than one ability doesn't mean, or you have more than one proclivity to do something, doesn't mean that you're scatterbrain. Just like being a GP or general practitioner doesn't mean you can't decide which specialty you want. Maybe you want to help people in more than one arena. But I'm an ambitious woman, and I help passionate, ambitious women who struggle with codependency and addiction and lack of money to become unapologetic and to live consistently and live unapologetic and be rich and have businesses that create revenue that allows them to do things their own way on their own terms. And I do that through 3 digital products. And I know over time, with any change in excavation and growing like a butterfly, people will fall away. Anytime you make a change in your life for the better, or you just change who you are, some people get so attached to who you were and how that fits their agenda that if you ever change or flip the script in any way that challenges who they need you to be, they fall away. Or maybe they annoy you and make you feel like you're bad because you changed, and that's not true either. But those people can just fall away. And I know that there will be people who make a grand exit and who leave quietly and fall away. And I bless those people, and I hope that everything that they want comes to them in full measure. But you cannot stay in a situation because it's comfortable for someone else. I stayed in a box for almost 4 decades, created by someone else who forgot to leave the air holes so that I could fit in and be loved and adored and, have a sense of belonging, forgetting that I belong to myself. And all those things can come from within. But you have to cultivate it. You have to love yourself and look at the person in the mirror and love that person before you can expect and really even embrace and my other phone just went off. You can even accept and receive that love from, not really whole soul, from someone else. And that may be my daughter's iPad. I don't know what that sound is because both my phones are right here. Anyways, and it's very easy to get sucked up in other people's mess and drama and goals and their mission and forget about your own. But you have to be clear on what your mission is. My mission is to help people overcome addiction and depression and not be codependent, and to create businesses that generate income even passively for them so they can live a life that they love and love the life they live with ease, grace, finesse, tenacity. And I do it, like I said, through my 3 digital products. And I want to teach people how to take the bull by the horns and grow and become all that they ever wanted to be. And I want people to know that they don't have to let life and people and trauma and unresolved emotions and pain destroy and devour them. You can rise up and rise above. You can live your life And you don't have to reside in Fearville. Like, you don't have to reside in fear and scarcity and lack and worry and anxiety all the time. It's not where you're supposed to stay. It might be where you reside for a moment to get yourself together so you know that's not where you want to be and move on. But to live there, I can't imagine wanting or choosing or forwarding your address to live there. And my products are a very high value. I did this value appraisal because I wanted to make sure that I was bringing to the table the value that I would want if I were buying a product. And they're really kick-ass bundles. They're insane value. Each piece is very phenomenal. I created them myself. I'm so proud. And the first one is the Passive Income Pro bundle, and you're getting 6 times, almost 7 times the value of what you pay. There's the Social Media Authority. There's some deep mindset pieces I added. There's a ebook and a mind map that teaches you how to create your own business with ease and grace. There's pieces to teach you how to automate and change that into a passive income business. There's the $1 Million Blueprint, which I wrote myself. There's the second version of the Social Media Authority, and then there's how to set your mind up to be and create and generate and attract that money that you want with millionaire affirmations, how to dominate the social media platforms that you feel your audience is or where you like to hang out. There's an offline and an online strategy, because you don't have to only be online and you don't have to only be offline. But when you marry the two, you have a better chance of reaching your ideal audience and really getting people to know who you are, establishing that authority, to know people, to know what you bring to the table. And then there's the Mac Boss, Soul Journey, Success, Wealth, and Zen bundle. That is a big bundle, I have to tell you, because there's a complete side that focuses on mindset with JPEGs, mind maps, formulas, ebooks, strategies, and then there's an entire side that focuses on just business building with, again, ebooks and JPEGs and mind maps and formulas and strategies and things that have allowed me to create the businesses that I have created and work with the businesses that I've created, or work with the businesses that I've worked with over the years. So that's a pretty big bundle, and there's literally 2 within one. So that one is definitely double the value that you're paying. And like my daughter says, take a deep breath. There's a 6-figure mind map. That's my newest one. That's my biggest one, my highest tier one. And again, you're getting 6 or 7 times the value of what you pay. That one's you can start out there if you wanted to. I do recommend kind of going the Passive Income Pro, then the Success, Wealth, and then the 6-figure, but you don't have to go in any particular order. And then in there, it's a complete set that's devoted to mindset, automation and mindset, sales funnel strategies, internet secrets, sales coaching, ad copy, a 6-figure business plan, outsourcing, how you can really just stay in your zone of genius. Of course, there's the 6-figure mind map, and then there's, again, how to dominate the social media platform that you really want to be in and really enjoy. And I will link all those in the comments. Feel free to check them out. You have nothing to lose just checking them out. And share this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hope you have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Again, I'm Dr. Meredith Watson, the unapologetic therapist, the creator of the Phoenix Therapy Method. I help passionate women who struggle with codependency, addiction, lack of money to become rich, unapologetic business owners, consistently living their life and doing things their own way on their own terms. And I am so excited to hear from you. Have a great one.